Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
and Troy Howard.
And you're on So Tell Us Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. We're really excited to be here with you guys today. We're moving on to part 2 of Close More Sales. Today we're going to be talking about your sales tools. See, the thing is that a lot of times in business, we go all out when it comes to certain aspects of our companies. Maybe our techs, the people, the tools that we're using, and the chemicals that we're using. We'll go all out. We'll spend the money. But a lot of times our sales team gets neglected. And I don't want to give too much away, so I'm going to let Troy jump in. Again, this is part 2. We're doing these short, quick ones that can get you guys thinking, get you to look at your business and take one thing during this summertime, because we know summertime is busy. Take one thing and really focus on that for the week. And then the next week, we'll do another quick, short one to have you focus on another quick thing. So this series is all about sales. You guys are going to love it. These are phenomenal and they are easy for you to implement. So go ahead, Troy, let's jump into this.
All right. So like Trevor said, we're going to be talking about what types of sales tools do you give your sales team? And again, if you're a solo entrepreneur, if it's just you, don't tune out, because guess what? You're the sales team. So you need to look at what tools do you provide for yourself to close more sales. So we're gonna go over what are the top tools a sales professional needs, and we're just going to kind of give you a list here. We're not going to go into a ton of detail for each one, but we're just trying to get your brain going and thinking about what you should be providing to your team. So some of the top tools that your team needs is, first and foremost, marketing materials. Right? You need to provide them everything that they need to actually sell your product. If you're just relying on them to sell it just by talking to people without providing any marketing materials, and we'll go into some more detail of what those materials are, then they're not going to be successful, or you're not going to close as many sales as you want. Some of those marketing materials, some of those things that they need is customer success stories. There is nothing that sells better than your customer success stories. I'll tell you right now, with our sales team, and Trevor can attest to this, we give our sales team just story after story after story of different customer successes that they've had. So it doesn't matter what part of our product or service that someone's utilizing, our sales guys have a story around that product and how it worked really, really well for one of our customers. And then what we foster with our sales team, hey, every time you're talking to a customer and they share a story with you, let's share that with the entire company. And we'll actually do that in our weekly company meetings. We'll share those stories so that our customer service guys know the stories and so that our sales reps know the stories. Yep. So customer success stories is huge. Another one is sales pipeline. So an actual pipeline with stages for follow-up. So when your sales team goes out and does a sale, do they actually have stages that they take the prospect through? Or is it just a one and done? I sell them right now. If they don't buy in this instant, then we're completely done with this. And I can tell you there's a lot of businesses out there that's it. It's one and done. Buy or die, basically. If you don't buy from me in this moment, you're out.
And we already know it takes up to 7 times of contacting or touching someone for them to purchase on average. So these one and dones, if that's what you're doing, you are leaving so much money on the table.
Exactly. So the next thing is marketing emails. Do you give your team marketing emails, a sequence of emails that they can share out with people to help close those sales, to move people closer to a sale? Again, if you're relying on your salespeople to write an email every single time, and you're expecting that every single one of them is going to write the best email possible, you're wrong.
Right.
You need to have those emails written and give them to your sales team so that the messaging coming out from your company every single time is the same. That's how you have success. You figure out what works and then you replicate it over and over and over again. You don't let people just try to figure it out every single time on their own. So marketing emails is a great way to hone in on that message of what actually closes more sales. The next one is nurture campaigns. And this is really important as well, because like we talked about, the one and done, they either buy or die. If you don't have that nurture campaign to nurture those people that didn't buy, then you're losing a lot of sales on the backside. And additionally, on top of that, with your existing customer base, if you're not nurturing your customer base after they purchase from you, because we're going to assume that most likely they can use your services again at a future date, right? Or maybe their friends or family could use your services. So you need to be nurturing those relationships with automated marketing, emails, text messages, things like that are going to continue to go out to put you, as Trevor likes to call it, top of mind, right? So that they come to you and don't go, I need to get my carpets clean. Who did I use? I don't remember. Let me just go find the next guy. Right? And then the next one is what we call leave behinds. And this is really important. And Trevor has a story about this. So I'm just going to leave this to you, Trevor. You tell us about the leave behinds.
Perfect. Yeah. So we were actually just consulting with a client of ours the other day, and they brought in with them a nice printed and laminated sales pitch. Basically, it was a package, a sales package that showed 3 different packages that they had that they would offer to clients or potential clients. And so these were like door-to-door sales guys. These were guys going out and knocking doors. And so they had these really nice, it looked awesome. The packages looked great. They had it laminated. It looked really professional. They needed our help because they just kind of needed to wrap it up and like make a little bit more sense, because was package 1 and package 2 and package 3, did it seem to get better with each package? They didn't feel like it kind of did. And then we told them the psychology behind it of like, if you have 3 packages, really what happens is most people buy the middle package. And that's the one that you want to actually have say best value, things like that. So there's a lot of psychology, and we could go into that onto another podcast. But the point is, they brought this in and they wanted us to look at it with them, and we did. And we went through it, and they were super excited about the changes that we came up with that were going to help them and their sales guys have more success. But I asked them, I said, now these are really nice. So what is it that your sales guys are leaving behind? And I mean beyond a business card. And they were like, I said, do they have like a trifold? Do you have, with more information, has your website on it, maybe has some reviews on it, says, hey, 957 5-star reviews, a 4.9 Google rating, check us out online. Do you have anything like that really promotes your business after they walk away from the door? And they were like, oh, well, we probably should. And I said, that's awesome. And yes, you should. Like, it's okay. And they kind of were like, oh, duh, what were we thinking? And it's like, that's okay. Sometimes you're so in it, you just can't see anything else, right? They were so all about these awesome, packages that they were creating and how nice it looked. But they weren't going to leave that behind. It was too expensive. They were super nice and it was very expensive. So it was only for their sales reps. Well, I was like, but what is being left behind with the client? That leave behind could have links to video reviews, it could have a lot of good information about your services and your business, but it was going to be like, hey, the sales rep walks up, he talks to the homeowner, he shows them the 3 different options that they have, he tries to sell them, and then if he doesn't sell them, he's walking away from the door and they have nothing left. There's no follow-up, right? So we were talking about it's important to have that leave behind because that's a very big tool. I had previously a person, my wife called me and said, hey, this guy's going to come by and he's going to show me how we can make our house more efficient. And I said, he's going to try to sell us solar. She's like, well, no. And he said he's going to like get up in the attic. He's going to like do all this stuff. And he's going to see where there's like could be leakage and energy leakage and all this stuff and, whatever. And I said, honey, he's going to sell us solar. And she's like, well, I don't know. He's young, but he was really impressive. Like, it sounded cool. And so he's coming back by because you make these decisions. You know what you're talking about, And I was like, okay, that's fine. So he shows up the next night. He knocks on the door. I open the door, and here's this 20-something-year-old kid. I look past him, and he's driving a Prius. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm good. I'm here to show you how we can make your house more energy efficient, blah, 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 and lower your bills. And I said, great. So my wife told me that you're going to want to be getting in the attic. And he was like, yeah. And I said, great. So where's your ladder? And he's like, my ladder? And I'm like, well, do you see my ceilings? They're 15-foot ceilings. So how are you going to get up into the attic? And he's like, do you have a ladder? And I was like, no, I don't. Now, do I have a ladder? Yes, I have a ladder. Of course I have a ladder. It's my house. But I'm not giving you my ladder, buddy. Like, this is on you. I can't believe you're so unprepared, right? And I said, okay, well, that's fine. I said, listen, you don't have a ladder. You probably need to come back and do it. And he's like, so then he tries to like, oh no, I'm going to lose this, right? And so he tries to go into the sales thing. And I said, listen, why don't you just give me a leave behind? And he's like, what's a leave behind? And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you have a pamphlet that you can leave with me that I can look through the information of how you're going to make my house more energy efficient? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, do you have a website? And he's like, yeah, we do. And I said, great, what's the website address? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I said, well, why don't you give me a business card? And I'll get back with you. I'll look at the website. I'm sure that it's on the business card. And he's like, yeah, my boss should probably give me business cards. And I was like, okay, buddy. I was like, well, I'm sorry, but at this point, I have tried to get more information about your business and how you're going to help make my house more energy efficient and save me money on my bills, but I'm no longer interested. You have nothing. You're so ill prepared. You need to go back and talk to your boss and tell him how ill prepared you were. This is ridiculous. He should never have sent you out like this. And he was like, oh yeah. And I said, oh wait, by the way, before you go, were you just trying to sell me solar? And he's like, yeah, we do solar. And I was like, okay, exactly. All right, well, thank you so much and goodbye. And I shut the door. So I'm like, that's just a perfect story of like, how are you sending your employees out? What kind of resources are you giving to your employees? What kind of money are you investing? Again, we want to invest in tools. We want to invest in products, chemicals, whatever that is. We're investing heavily into our business, trucks, truck mounts, all these different things. We're wrapping our vehicles. We're doing all this stuff. But are we giving our sales reps what they need, the tools they need, the materials they need in order to be successful? And really, that's the main point of this one. So,
yep.
Anything else, Troy?
No, hit the homework.
Awesome. Okay, take a look at your sales team and what tools you provide them. Come up with one way to upgrade their tools this week. How can you improve? So maybe you've got a lot of good stuff for your employees, but there's probably something more you could give them. There's more investment you could make, especially with the list that Troy gave you. And I do believe what we'll do is a sales pipeline strategy and follow-up system can be really in depth. And so I think we'll actually do a whole episode, a whole podcast on our sales pipeline for our guys, because our guys have a 110% close rate. It's phenomenal. Like, they're selling more than the leads that are coming in. And a big part of that is yes, they're phenomenal sales guys, but also it's the pipeline that supports them. So we'll do that as well. That's something to look forward to that will be coming up. All right, everybody, we love you. We appreciate you. You are the best. Share, like, comment, and we will check you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.